My name's Eden, and I live in Ojai, California. I came to yoga in little bits and pieces throughout my life, just because I've always loved movement, but I was definitely a dedicated dancer, the professional dance background, and so I started getting much more involved in yoga once I started getting some injuries, and yoga was a way to heal, but still through movement. And then I just never stopped, and that was almost 20 years ago. And I'm very grateful for it in my life, and I'm glad I found it. When I find something that I love and that gives me a lot of goodness in my life, I just want to share that with people. And I also I like being, there's one thing about yoga is I do feel like there's a community around it that I really appreciate, and have learned a lot from other teachers, and not just about the practice of yoga, but about building community. I'd say one of the first people that I studied with in depth was Shiva Rae when I was at UCLA in the dance program, and then I expanded out from her to this guy named Stephen Earth, who did power yoga in West Hollywood, just out of kind of proximity. And his story really intrigued me because he had come out of a pretty serious car accident with injuries, and he was then found yoga, and it was really healing for him as well. And Brian Kest also was someone that I studied with for a while. And wow, there are a lot of people on that list that I'm sure I'm forgetting and missing. but I'd say Shiva Rae was, I think, it left the biggest impression just because of the depth and the way that I was able to study in the university setting. It was a slightly different experience than practicing in a studio where you just kind of come and go and as you please, because you're with other students, and we were able to explore it together. Oh, my practice has changed, I think, just as I've evolved as a woman. It has, I'd say in a way, when I first started with yoga, it was like I was saying, it was kind of healing and learning how to move and not create more physical injuries and not push myself in a way that my body wasn't designed to move, to really just basically listen to the body. So it was a combination of, a physical and emotional experience. And then as I've grown up, it's become a little bit more of a spiritual experience, in the sense of really, there are times when I practice that I do feel really connected to nature and connected to just life around me, people, and as well as kind of my internal and my own teacher. So it's changed in that sense of evolving into definitely a more of a spiritual practice, and being able to go inward and to experience insights as I practice. And I don't think that was so much a part of it for me when I was first started. I think it did center a little bit more on the physical. I think one of the big differences is that you're moving on this path to perform. So you're going to be, as a dancer, performing most of the time for other people, and so you have these really high expectations of yourself, and you just keep practicing and training in order to get to a destination, which is the performance. Whereas yoga, it's much more about bringing yourself back into the present. You're not performing for anybody, not even for yourself. You're just taking, the time to move through these amazing postures that can offer so much insight and teach you so much about not just about proper alignment and about anatomy in the body, but about, as I was saying earlier, what's going on inside and what's going on around us. And dance can do that too, I think, if you're at the right point in your life. But yoga has, I think, more of a profound and kind of somewhat immediate way of doing that. I practice yoga with my son. I don't tell him, oh, it's time to practice yoga, but I have this beautiful little porch in my backyard, and I go sit and I practice. And he can either choose to play with his trains or whatever he's playing with, or he can come practice with me, and sometimes he does. And you know, he comes in and he comes out and he likes to go, look, mommy, I'm doing yoga. He likes to say it when he's doing it. But I really encourage him just more like, look, doesn't mommy look like a tree right now? And you know, just kind of being playful with it, and look at the birdies, and let's use our arms like wings. And I think that inspires him a little bit more than just naming it yoga and giving it that you know, expectation. But we do have fun practicing. And so every once in a while, he'll just do it on his own, and it's just adorable.